For today. This is something I've been trying to work on myself. A zombies deck with Pyre of Heroes. Today, Lockhart, who has been the one pioneering the other zombie list too, has given us their take on the Pyre of Heroes zombies deck. I think the best thing that they discovered was Changeling Berserker. The biggest problem with the zombie deck in Pyre of Heroes is that these cards all work really well with Pyre of Heroes. You really want a good 4-drop to sacrifice Geralf's Messenger into. And I think Changeling Berserker is the best. It's a 4-mana 5/3 haste, champion a creature. So you sack Geralf's Messenger, and then you Undying, deal them 2, and then you exile it underneath Changeling Berserker, and then when Changeling Berserker dies, you get your Messenger back. And then you can sack this to get back your Geralf's Messenger, which is going to be 3 Devotion, and get Grey Merchant and just kind of kill your opponent. So I was really struggling when I was building this list, trying to find a good 4-mana zombie to Pyre of Heroes into, and I think that was the best one. And so I'm excited to try it out today. And I may end up taking a crack at building the list myself. I think this is a excellent first draft. One thing I was kind of looking at is there is a 3-mana zombie cleric. There's only one. It's really bad. It's like a 3-mana 2/2 afflict, but it is a cleric, which means that you could Pyre of Heroes a zombie into that, and then Pyre of Heroes that into Yawgmoth, and then Yawgmoth can combo with Geralf's Messenger. There's also Nantuko Husk, which is much better than the zombie cleric, and that was another idea by Lockhart. Is you can Pyre of Heroes Nantuko Husk into Luminous Broodmoth, and then combo with Geralf's Messenger, Luminous Broodmoth, Sacrifice Outlet. So there's a couple different more combo-y directions you could go. I kind of like starting with this more beatdown focus game plan and just see how it goes. I can do deck tech Termagriff. No time. Hard to mulligan a turn 1 Vial, but this Sam probably should go. Let's keep this. We have Cavern, so I think we can just put back Blood Crypt. Yeah, I don't. My take is that this combo that you have, which is admittedly very cool, is not going to be very competitive. I'm not sure. I don't have any immediate ideas on how to make it more competitive. That being said, if this is something you want to try, and maybe it ends up being very good, get back to us. But I immediately don't see it being great. But I think you have a good first list. Atomic Fruit Fly 8 months, JK 3 months. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm excited for your Dono deck too today. Yeah, they took my Pyre of Heroes, which really stinks. Our hand has certainly not lined up well against Abzan, but maybe we just have a good Abzan matchup overall. We'll see. What's the best way to support the stream? Sub, dono, or bids? Subscription for sure. That's the best way. The stream is definitely almost exclusively brought to you guys by subscribers. So if you're interested in supporting the stream, that's definitely the best way. Oh, these are new? At the very least, I haven't seen them. I'm going to play the Plague Belcher. It's not going to be very good. It will probably just die. How much Tron have I been seeing? A decent amount. Way more than in recent days, of course. Batadouche, 11 months. Welcome back. Thank you for that. Flashback Lingering Souls. And Abrupt Decay is my Plague Belcher. Also, this list is playing Cavern and Witch's Cottage, and I think you need to choose one or the other, It's another little note I have. Be right back. Oh, I guess I probably should have Fatal Push the Shambling Vents. Just take a draw step. I don't take daps. 2 months in a row. Welcome back, buddy. Thank you for that. Gravecrawler is probably not getting the job done here. I'll play it out, probably. If we draw Pyre of Heroes, we actually might be able to get some stuff going. Yeah, I'm happy to have electricity too. We've had it for about 48 hours now, so here's hoping that it doesn't go out. We'll see. I was really not expecting to have power today, but we do. Is Lingering Souls back? Does that mean we play Electrolyze again? I sure hope so. That would be exciting. I mean, if Toski is really good in Abzan Stoneblade, then maybe Lingering Souls is a good card to be on. At least some number. So that would be something to think about, is specifically pairing Lingering Souls with Toski and drawing a million cards. Yeah, Ted Cruz is an absolute goblin, as we established yesterday. It's a complete joke. Probably need to hold this Grey Merchants. We're still not dead. And then, I mean, of course, we're hoping our opponent just doesn't have any removal, which is not very likely, but... I mean, this combo always feels really fun. Maybe we'll draw Geralf's Messenger next turn, and then go Vial, Grey Merchant, get a big life drain swing. The opponent doesn't have a second white mana right now to fire up the Shambling Vents. Down to 4. Messenger off the top gives us a chance, potentially. Basic Swamp. Alright, let's go to game 2. Not off to a very good start. Also not a ton of cards in the sideboard for this matchup. I think we've got a fine main deck, just to draw better, ideally. I'm also kind of hoping we get paired against Heliod, because this does seem like potentially the best card to be playing against them. But also, I hope we don't get paired against Heliod, because we could never win. We could maybe bring in a Plague Engineer to name Spirit. Maybe we can cut the one Death Baron for that. I'm not super high on Death Baron. I think that we could maybe just splash blue and play Diregraf Captain. Is that the name of the card? The blue-black Lord, I think, is so much better. I don't think splashing blue is actually that difficult, which is something else to think about. Feels like this deck... Yeah, I also agree that Cavern of Souls... I think you either play Cavern and you have like an easy blue splash by also playing Unclaimed Territory, or you play Witch's Cottage and you don't play both. Yeah, or at least if you are playing these, the first Urborg is probably good. Yeah, you can redeem a deck tech right now. That's fine. Does that mean you put one Zaggoth Triumph and ban Squirrel Blade and put some number of souls in the deck? Probably not, because you just have access to Ice Fang, you know? This hand is good. I'm going to keep it, putting back probably Blood Crypt. Esper Gorya's Bruna. That's exciting. An anonymous cheer gifting 1,000 bits. Thank you, buddy. That's nice of you. Yeah, so I do think it is interesting to try to play this deck as kind of like a twin combo deck where if you have Gifts Ungiven plus Gorya's Vengeance, you have a kill. I'm not sure that you want to be playing Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. I think that Gifts Ungiven probably needs to be like around the top of your curve. So I'm not sure that you necessarily even want to be white. But being white does let you cast Bruna, which is nice. Second Plague Belcher, not the best draw. But Undead Augur is just the best card in this matchup, which is nice to have a second copy. Yeah, you probably want to be playing maybe like 1 or 2 more discard outlets. I'm not sure exactly what the best... Oh, dude, Changeling Berserker is not quite the best draw. I'm not sure exactly what the best options are going to be for you as far as discard outlets. Like you have 4 Jace, 1 Radical Idea. You could potentially play the Enchantment Thirst. Draw 3, discard 2 unless you discard an enchantment, but you only have the 1 Colossification. It's sort of Feast and Famine. If we draw a land, we can just go ahead and immediately get Hellbent, which is kind of nice. Okay, that's a pretty good draw. So because we can Plague Belcher and put the counters on the Geralf's Messenger, and this Plague Belcher will be a 5/4, and then if this doesn't get Thoughtseized or sort of Feast and Famined, we can reset the counters on the Messenger with Changeling Berserker, which is exciting. And I guess we should probably Plague Belcher right now. That way, if my opponent has Fatal Push, they just don't have Revolts. Yeah, I think that if I was going to build the Bruno Colossification deck, I would probably be just straight blue-black. I would be playing it kind of like a twin deck where you play like this controlling game plan. You've got some interesting Gifts and Given piles, but you do just have some games where you go Gifts and Given, untap Goryo's Vengeance with a counter spell up and kill them with Bruno Colossification. Is probably how I would approach building the deck. Is there any hope for a classic Esper Unburial Gifts deck? Probably not. I have played it somewhat recently. It just feels very slow and disruptible. Yeah, I'm excited for the Arcanist deck. I'm excited for the Boros Kiki-Jiki deck. And then also excited for Spell Shift again. So I really doubt my opponent's going to expect Changeling Berserker here. Although I do think my opponent has Batterskull. So we'll need to think about that. I guess they're dead on board if they just have Batterskull, right? Yeah. Dude, Vial and Changeling Berserker to fizzle Path to Exile? This is absurd. Maybe we should be playing 2. Card actually just seems good to me. Can't believe my opponent didn't play around this. I enjoyed playing your old Rock Brew and Pioneer. Do I think it'll be good in Pioneer after banning? Maybe. I would take a look at it for sure. Potentially, like you know, with the Abzan and Sultai Triomes, there's possibly like a free-ish wider blue splash, which is interesting too. Oh yeah, so champion a creature, old mechanic. To champion a creature, when it enters the battlefield, you would sacrifice Changeling Berserker unless you exile another creature you control, and then when this leaves the battlefield, that card returns to the battlefield. So. It's very good with Geralf's Messenger, especially if you go Pyre of Heroes, sack Messenger, undie Geralf's Messenger, drain them for 2, exile a champion Geralf's Messenger, and then if this dies, you get a reset Geralf's Messenger, and if it doesn't die, you can Pyre of Heroes it into Grey Merchant of Asphodel, and get your Geralf's Messenger back for extra devotion, which is exciting. This hand's probably the best hand we've had so far. I'm going to easily keep this. My opponent's mulligan to 6, so I'm feeling very good. We'll draw an Aether Vial on turn 1. Put most of 5. That's so good for us. I love Pyre of Heroes. Pyre of Heroes has been really good for me so far. Maybe my favorite card out of Kaldheim. It's like either this or Toski. Yeah, I was also really enjoying Invasion of the Giants until they banned Uro. Then the card got a little bit worse, a lot worse. Yeah. So we didn't find necessarily a good zombie, but we did find a good zombie for the deck in Changeling Berserker, which is a shapeshifter. But again, yeah, the biggest problem in this deck has always been, boy, are there just no good 4-mana zombies. Carrion Feeder is a good draw. This deck always wants to draw Carrion Feeder. Yeah, I think that I would be interested if I was going to build this 75 in playing some amount of Crypt Breaker. There's a ton of different directions you can go. I might just not play the Death Barons, or I might splash blue for the Blue-Black Lord. Don't take my Carrion Feeder. I think Carrion Feeder is the card I don't want them to take. Carrion Feeder really powers up both of these cards, so if they take one of these two, I'm not so worried. Yeah. They do take the feeder. You cut Creep Breaker to make room. Make the room for what? Yeah, I think like 1 or 2 Crypt Breakers is probably good. Although that being said, like Pyre of Heroes, you know, is also providing like the card advantage that Crypt Breaker often, you know, did. So there's also that to consider. Kind of sad to lose my Undead Augur. Undead Augur is such an important card in this deck. It's taking 5, they're getting 4. Oh, there's Undead Augur. I probably do want to... Let's see. So we can play Relentless Dead, block with Relentless Dead, get back Carrion Feeder, return Relentless Dead to our hand. Feels pretty slow to me. I think I'm just going to play Vial, Undead Augur, and then block with the Messenger, draw a card ideally. Maybe double block, draw 2 cards. Crypt Breaker, Laws of Top Reaper gives you a token you can sack to Pyre. Yeah, Reaper is interesting. The fact that Reaper gives you a token so you can get a Carrion Feeder does seem like a big deal. I like that idea. Okay, this is bad. Though my opponent doesn't necessarily have a 4th land to, you know, make their Germ token pro black right now. But just a pro black Batterskull creature is like impossible to beat. So Fatal Push off the top would put us in decent position. We did not draw Fatal Push off the top. I guess I maybe should have just attacked first. I think the bands are good. Aside Winter, I am doing well. Thank you for checking in. Yeah, I'm just going to leave up the Relentless Dead mana just in case I do get to block with it. Our opponent does need to have a land in order to equip sort of Feast and Famine here. So I'm going to hope that that doesn't happen. Although maybe playing Butcher would be, you know, would play around them having a land a bit better. So they don't have the land, which is very exciting. I really do hope that they attack. I think that they know that. Oh, wow. This is very good for us. To get my Undead Augur back. We really are just hoping that we can draw into a Fatal Push. I think we only have 2 in the deck though. So here we can go Violin, Relentless Dead. Plague Belcher, Relentless Dead. Get back Carrion Feeder, and I'm also not going to return the Relentless Dead because we need to draw the Fatal Push right now in order to have a chance. But I will return the Carrion Feeder so we can draw more cards. So no to this one, yes to this ability. I'll go ahead and attack with Geralf's Messenger. If they block with the Germ token, I guess I just sack. Yeah, Relentless Dead seems pretty good in the deck. Yeah, I figured that they might just not block, but it was correct for them to block. Do get to deal them 3 here. If we draw Fatal Push, we probably win. We've got a few more looks. I guess drawing a land allows us to play Gravecrawler and sack Gravecrawler here. Maybe we can win through a hit. I'm not sure. The fact that they get to gain 6 is also just such a beating. Yeah, so it looks like we missed. That being said, like with double Plague Belcher and then Carrion Feeder Gravecrawler, we do have a lot of damage going their way next turn. Although if we shock here, we go down to 8, then we're taking 6, so we would have to sack the Undead Augur to draw a card. Do I want to sack it now to try to draw Fatal Push? or do I want to sack it after I have Plague Belcher in play to deal them 1 more damage? So double Plague Belcher, and then we have 6, maybe 7 casts of Gravecrawler and sacks with Carrion Feeder is going to be 6 is 12 damage. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's get to it. Deal some damage? Or is it better to play the other Carrion Feeder? So many decisions. Plague Belcher also resets. Oh, yes. Yes, that should be lethal next turn then. And it should be lethal whether or not we sack the Augur now or not. So I think I'll go and dig for Fatal Push. We also draw just a not a Blood Crypt land, yeah. Okay, so I think that we kill them next turn. We're taking 6. So we can discard. We can discard Dreadhorde Butcher, because this is like just 1 land is 2 damage, which is better than casting the Dreadhorde Butcher at all, right? Or casting the Dreadhorde Butcher is 2 mana for 3 damage, as opposed to 1 mana recurring for 2 damage. Yeah, just better to discard the Butcher. Yeah, I'm including Belcher on the Messenger, which is a line I feel like I always forget, but I remembered it this time because of chat. Yeah, the Jund Arcanist list was donated by sorry, hold on. It's I keep forgetting the username. Mac the Martia, new member of the chat, donated for all the donation decks last week, and then donated this week for both the Jund Arcanist deck, which looks really, really good, and then the Boros Kiki-Jiki Restoration deck. So yeah, I think my opponent's dead. I'm not 100% sure. 3rd Plague Belcher. This should change things, right? I mean, the 3rd Plague Belcher can reset the Messenger again. Just making sure that it's correct to play it instead of just playing 3 Gravecrawlers. So 3 Gravecrawlers is 6 damage. This Plague Belcher is going to be 4 damage just from the Gravecrawlers. Yeah, it's going to be more damage to play the Belcher. So we get to reset Geralf's Messenger. Sack Geralf's Messenger now. It undies. Drain our opponent for 4. This is a super impressive turn. Opponent is very dead. Every time a zombie dies, our opponent loses 3 life, and we've got a lot of zombies to die. We didn't even need the 3rd Belcher, but overkill. Just dealing our opponent 17 without even attacking, beating the life-linked pro-black Batter Skulls, very impressive. Really good first showing for the deck. Not that we got to activate Pyre of Heroes this match. Yeah, you can. I think you can never mulligan a hand with 2 lands, Undead Augur, Carrion Feeder. Playing against Last God. Twitch resident, Last God. It usually plays blue piles. And having Cavern of Souls, super, super relevant in this matchup. There's Plague Belcher. Plague Belcher, super impressive last game. Thanks, Memory. I appreciate everybody wishing me well, checking in. We're definitely doing okay now, I think. I hope. The weather should turn around tomorrow, and we've had power for a while now. Hey, Big Monkey. Notably, my opponent didn't fetch a Snow Duel land on turn 1. I wonder what that means. Yeah, I love these zombie decks. They're really fun to play. I'm starting to become proficient in them even. Yeah, I know I've been calling them walkers for the longest time, and I think I will keep I feel like Pyre of Heroes walkers would just be too confusing of a title. But I will keep the bit alive, I promise. Yeah, losing our Undead Augur stinks. I think I'm just playing Death Baron, and yeah, I don't know. Death Baron is so weak. I really wish that we could be playing something else. I know that you don't have other. I mean, like maybe just Plague Belchers are enough, and Geralf's Messengers in the 3-mana slot, and maybe one Death Baron instead of 2. Maybe you play the Blue Lord, but I really don't think this card's very good. Another Ice Fang. I'm gonna bring in Plague Engineer Naming Snake. Thoughtseize my last spell out of my hand. Well, Pyre of Heroes would be, I guess, not even that good of a draw because Death Baron actually doesn't work that well with Pyre. I will take this up to 3. Draw basic swamp. So we have an attack here. At least their discard spells are turned off. If we draw a fetch land, we can Witch's Cottage back something. Yeah, I agree. I think that either you don't play Caverns, or if you do play Caverns, you at least play... Hold on. You at least play the Urborg to turn on Witch's Cottage. What is this? 2 mana 2/2, enters battlefield, creatures you control gain Shroud, sacrifice it unless green was spent to cast it. Alright, I have no idea what's going on with that. Alright, not going to take the Vial up. We'll take this one up. There's Pyre. Pyre is exciting as soon as we draw any non 4 or 5 mana creature. I think we'll take the Vial up to 2. Doesn't really matter a ton. No. Yes. Zombie. Gravecrawler would be good. Death Baron. Yeah, Death Baron is the worst zombie probably to draw. We can't even Pyre of Heroes it into our 4-drop since our 4-drop has to champion. So yeah. I think if I was building this list again, just would not be playing maybe any copies of this card. Hopefully they thought Scour me, so I can mill over a Gravecrawler. Yeah, Diregraf Captain has got more synergies, I agree, and it's largely better, I think. You might even want to play the 4 mana +2/+1 Lord instead of this. That makes zombies cost 1 less. I don't really think that card is that good, but it's probably better than Death Baron. What a heartbreaking draw. Yeah, Undead War Chief. I mean, I think that it's not that hard to splash blue. You have Cavern of Souls, you have Unclaimed Territory, and you really just like don't have that many blue cards, and you can play like 1 Blood Crypt, 1 Watery Grave, all black fetches, and just have perfect mana if you draw a Cavern or an Unclaimed Territory. Yeah, the 3 mana, the red one that deals damage equal to the number of non-basic lands they control was a card I considered. I have it in some of my drafts. I don't know if it's a main deck card or a sideboard card, though. Seems interesting. Heartbreaking game. The theory was that you never want to pot away any other 3-drop other than Messenger. I guess that's... I think that's a fair point. I don't know. This like Death Baron just really feels like the weakest card in the deck to me. I'm gonna play 2 Thoughtseize instead of the Fatal Pushes. Maybe I'll even should be trimming Death Barons. Too late. fine. Let me keep this. I think I'm playing Witch's Cottage on turn 1. It's kind of close. It's just so bad if we don't draw another land and then we can't play Messenger on turn 3. What's being played today? There's this deck and then a Jund, Death Shadow, Dreadhorde Arcanist deck. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Undead Augur into Messenger, into Pyre of Heroes, sack Messenger on turn 4. Yikes. Cage is so good against us. It's unreal how good Cage is. This totally stops our whole deck. Thought Scour's me. Is Fleshbag Marauder too cute? Yeah, I don't think Fleshbag Marauder is very good. I could be wrong. I think that if we go to game 3, I will bring in some amount of Plague Engineers. They seem to be like on all 1 toughness creatures. Glad I didn't side out the Death Barons. Yeah, sorry. Jund, Death Shadow, Dreadhorde Arcanist, and then a Boros Kiki-Jiki Restoration Angel deck, and then Spell Shift combo. Sorry, I didn't finish the thought because of the Grafdigger's Cage. Getting flooded too today. I think 21 lands is still good though. I could have saved the Cottage, but we only had 3 lands in our opening hand. I don't understand why this card is being played. It's not a snow creature. Does anyone know what the deal is? I'm super dead though. Alright, 1 and 1. Which is Cottage. Let's keep this hand. How did Red Black Walkers go yesterday? We went 2 and 3. I kind of am interested in making this Pyre of Heroes version work. Pyre's just so good with the 1 through 3 drops, but then you really want like a couple good 4 drops. I think the Changeling Outcast that we're playing is the best one, and it's been pretty good today so far. All your creatures have flash besides Noble and Shinobi. That's fair. It's an interesting card. I was just trying to figure out what the idea behind it was. Please make a Wizard's Pyre deck at some point. I might. I do think Goblins is still the best Pyre deck. Don't Rin and 6 me. Playing Dredge. We do have some Leyline of the Voids. I wonder how beatable Dredge is without drawing a Leyline. That's always the question, right? It's always the question. Probably going to be a little slow here with this hand. Not being able to play Butcher this turn. That being said, they didn't hit any Narcomoebas for their prized Amalgam, but they do have an Ox of Aghanas, which is a scary card. Do I think Blue-White Tron has legs? No, I do not. Don't think that deck was ever really good, honestly. Might just be right to go to game 2 right now. Undead Warchief is legal in Modern? Is it? Oh yeah, that one. Sorry, I think it was, yes, that one. Yeah, I think you could play one of those. A Lord that gives +2 is interesting, but it's also a a very fragile creature.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Should Dredge be a tier 1 deck? Should it be? I don't know. I guess I don't know how to answer that question. But is it? Probably. Or maybe not tier 1, but like a deck that you probably can't just completely ignore anymore. Felt like you could just ignore it for a while. So I want Ley Lines. Do I also want Plague Engineers for Narcomoebas and Bloodghasts? Potentially. I don't want these Fatal Pushes. I don't want Death Baron, I think. Put like 1 Plague Engineer. This seems okay. I'm gonna be... There are probably some hands I'll try to keep without Leyline. But for the most part, I'm gonna want to mulligan to Leyline, I think. Skinderinder could be 4. I mean, Skinderinder is okay in some matchups. It doesn't successfully reset Geralf's Messenger, which stinks. If it did, we'd probably be playing it. Can Dredge be a tier 1 deck when it loses to Graveyard Hate that easily? I mean, it has been in the past. It can definitely also play around Graveyard Hate, especially if the metagame is like very predictable and you know what Graveyard Hate each deck is playing and you know how much Graveyard Hate is about out there. But you are right that Dredge is a very beatable deck if you want to beat it. So, while I do find that the gameplay of Dredge is usually pretty uninteresting, as far as being, you know, a deck in the format, it's definitely a deck that you can just choose to beat if you respect it enough. Gravedigger / Graveshifter. I mean, those cards are also pretty medium. The thing is, it's like, there are 4-drops that are not going to be that embarrassing to Pyre into. I think Changeling Berserker is the best one. But these 4-drops, they really have to compete with cards like Sling Gang Lieutenant, Goblin Ringleader out of Goblins. You know what I mean? They have to compete with like the Yawgmoth out of the Humans Pyre deck we've been trying. And Goblin just doesn't have anything that good. Easy mulligan, I guess. Probably have to go to 5. I would obviously keep this hand in a lot of matchups, but no Leyline is probably just a mull. This hand's much better. I might put back... I might just keep a 1-land Vial hand. I might go like put back Basic Swamp, Carrion Feeder. I know Carrion Feeder is really important, but Carrion Feeder is like much worse when you're on a mull to 5. We also just put back the Vial. Maybe putting back Vial is better. Yeah, let's do that actually. Opponent is also mull to 5. Do you have a blue-black zombies list with Pyre, or am I still on the red-black idea? I don't have a list made. I think that I think it could probably be Grixis. I think Dreadhorde Butcher is solid in this deck. I think Changeling Berserker is a card I want to play. But I also don't think that the blue splash is difficult, and the Diregraf Captain is a card I'm interested in including. Feeder exiles bridges from the yard. That used to be a real interaction. So my opponent has, I guess, either Lightning Axe or Nature's Claim here. Hoping it's Lightning Axe, because we're just kind of all in on this Leyline. You don't understand Berserker, what's it for? So if you Pyre of Heroes away your Geralf's Messenger, they do have Nature's Claim. If you Pyre of Heroes away your Geralf's Messenger, then you can get Berserker to champion your Messenger, and then if they kill it, you get to reset it. If they don't kill it, then you get to Pyre of Heroes it away for a Grey Merchant, and then when you do, you get your Messenger back for more Devotion and more Drain. So it's a lot of damage. They do have the Nature's Claim, but they don't have second land. Thoughts on Scarab God? Scarab God, I think, is way too slow. Rotting Registrar as a zombie. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily synergize with the deck very well. It's just a big dumb creature. But it is a zombie, yeah. I feel like they've got to have Lightning Axe here for this pause. What about Graveboard Moves is also just not a card I really want to put in the deck, I think. Discarding Vengevine. Yeah, I really think Graveborn Muse is just not a card I'm interested in including. Just not very good. Vengevine's not a zombie. Is it? It's an elemental, right? Yeah, it's an elemental. Oketra can create a huge zombie board with Gravecrawler and Sack Engine. Yeah, but it's also like you can't have 5-drops are not good engine cards in Modern like that. They're just it's just not something you can count on in this format. Discarding Vengevine. Did I say discarding Vengevine? Probably did. So if we attack, they block with Golgari Thug. And they put they get a dredger in the yard. I think that's fine. Although, I guess we'd rather attack with the Changeling Berserker, just more damage. No, they don't have to put this on the yard. It's target. Oh yeah, sorry, target creature. I thought it was target card. You are right. They don't. So next turn, if we sack this and we get Grey Merchant of Asphodel, that's going to be 5 damage. Oh, sorry, 7 with the messenger trigger. It's pretty good. They took the hit? Wow, that's awesome. Maybe value targets in the sideboard. I mean, maybe. Hit me with, like, what the value targets are. You know what I mean? And we get Relentless Dead. For extra devotion. Obviously, you have to play the Relentless Dead first. This is probably bad to, you know, show them what's happening, but boy, does this sound like a flashy way to win. What do you think about Lifebane Zombie on the side? Maybe. What? No! Exclamation point? What's wrong with this? Wait, is Corpse Knight a zombie? I love Corpse Knight. Corpse Knight's not a zombie, is it? Or sorry, Deathless Knight. Deathless Knight. If you cast Relentless Dead, they have another opportunity to kill Pyre. I mean, they would have killed Pyre already. Yeah, it's a Skeleton Knight. But it does get buffed by Death Baron. I love Deathless Knight. This is one of my favorite cards. I'm just waiting for it to be good. Corpse Knight is? What? Okay, I guess I'm not familiar with Corpse Knight. Yeah, I liked a lot of cards black-white zombies list. You can keep this hand. This hand's like just so good in a regular match of Magic. My opponent kept 7 though. This hand probably can just not beat Dredge, right? But maybe it can. And maybe they kept a hand that's just good against Leyline, but then they'll kill my Aether Vial anyways. But it's like, if they've kept 7 and they've seen that we have Leylines in our deck, if we mulligan to Leyline, it's just not going to be that good. So I think we keep. This is unkeepable versus Dredge. I don't know. Maybe. I think it's possible like they've kept a very reactive hand on 7, seeing that we have Leylines. Maybe it is unkeepable. I kind of feel like it's close. This hand has a lot of potential to do a lot of damage. What about Midnight Reaper over Death Baron? Is Midnight Reaper a zombie? Isn't it a human? We already have Undead Augur too. Grixis Arcanist. I mean, I really prefer the blue-red variant of this deck. Getting Lurrus is nice, of course. But I really do prefer the blue-red variant, and playing like Archmage's Charm just is so much better than playing these discard spells. That being said, discard spells did get better recently, I guess. I think you could not play 2 Fiery Islets. Your mana base is already so painful, and you're also 17 lands is too few. I think you're going to be wanting... They kept a 1-lander! They kept a 1-lander! They do have double Shriekhorn. Well, them keeping a 1-lander gives us a chance. Yeah, you're going to want that like 19, maybe 20 lands, I think. Especially with Lurrus in your deck, you can afford to play more lands. I do prefer the blue-red version I've been playing. I would also say that if you're going to play this deck, probably just don't play Delver of Secrets. Those are pretty good 2 cards to hit. Narcomoeba, Prized Amalgam. Pretty good 2 cards. Midnight Reaper is a zombie knight. That's interesting. The thing is you already have Undead Augur, which is a 2-mana Midnight Reaper effect. Ooh, 2 more Amalgams. Also, what are you doing over there, zombie? You're supposed to be in our deck. Can we play Prized Amalgam as a tutor target? Probably not. Athena's asleep at the moment. So we get a mod to redeem the pet Athena for now. She'll be in here later. Did this stem from the sacrifice deck? Kind of. You know, the sacrifice deck really stemmed from the other zombie deck that Lockhart has, you know, been working on for a while, and we've been playing a bunch, and just a different variant on this zombie show. Yeah, Prized Amalgam is easy to pot away. Yeah, they did keep a Nature's Claim, so I guess I don't feel too bad about my decision to keep this hand. The question is, are we going to play Diregraf Colossus or Messenger first? I also really hope that they attack. Probably won't. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I don't think they're supposed to keep 7-card one-lander, but I get it. Like, it has Nature's Claim against the Leyline deck, right? I get it. It's an interesting draw. We could just make this a 4/4 and attack with it. No, let's play Diregraf Colossus this turn, and then next turn we can make a bunch of 2/2 zombies with the Gravecrawler Carrion Feeder thing. Or if we draw land, maybe we'll just play Messenger and 1 Crawler. Diregraf Colossus is a sweet card. Stitcher Supplier can dig for Amalgams and Gravecrawlers. That's true. So playing Amalgam would give you a second good card to be in the graveyard, which would maybe almost make Supplier playable. I think you probably want close to like 10, 12 good cards in the graveyard before Supplier really gets good. So are they going to Dredge Imp, or are they going to look for their second land? Has Carrion Feeder always been Modern legal? No, it became Modern legal in Modern Horizons. Good morning, Turtle. Good morning. Thank you, Tucker. 7 months in a row. When will I try the Sprite Dragon list in the new meta? At some point. At some point. They do Dredge, Stinkweed Imp hitting Bloodghast, Lightning Axe, Mire, Imp, and Shriekhorn, so not a very good Dredge at all. They're really looking for a Narcomoeba to get these Amalgams back and some Creeping Chills. Although maybe they trimmed on Creeping Chills, because they brought in a lot of sideboard cards. Would really like to draw land this turn. It's not the end of the world if we don't. Pyre of Heroes. Yeah, I think we're just making 3 zombies. We also get to attack with the Carrion Feeder, which is nice. Yeah, Diregraf Colossus seems like a good tutor target. I was a little hesitant, but it's been a while since I've played with or against this card, and it seems good to me. Do I think Control has lived up to the hype of being a strong force in the new meta, or too early to tell? It's definitely too early to tell. There is not a defined metagame right now. And Control decks also, I don't even think we're that hyped up, to be honest, but Control decks like need a more defined metagame, I think, to really thrive. And so, from what I can tell, most Control players are having a hard time figuring out the best approach. And that's because everything is in flux. Would Pyre of Heroes be better if it also destroyed all islands when it entered play? No, then I couldn't play it in my Merfolk deck. But I mean, with the bans, there were, 3 cards banned from the 3 of the best control cards were banned, so I don't feel like control decks were hyped up as being like very dominant going forward. Well, that was a really good draw for them to just rip the land and not take the dredge. Feels bad that that happened. Now they get to Ox of Ognas, get back at least 2 amalgams. What was the third card? Field Uro and Mystic Sanctuary. Mystic Sanctuary was also banned. They had Creeping Chills in their hand. Or at least 1 Creeping Chill. Yeah, Simian Spirit Guide too, we're just talking about like control decks got 3 cards banned from them, so I really don't feel like people were expecting control to be like this huge force going forward. They have 1 Creeping Chill, 1 Narcomoeba, and they have the all 4 amalgams coming out. But it is possible that we can just like win on board. They only have 15 cards in their library. Conflagrate is also maybe just beatable here. We can maybe play to getting Grey Merchant down. We probably would need to get Messenger first into play, and then do the chain. Yeah, Creeping Chill is my least favorite Magic card. We still can maybe keep attacking with this Carrion Feeder too. Yeah, so we can play Messenger this turn and then go Pyre into Champion. We also go Pyre into Plague Belcher here. Plague Belcher is not enough damage though, but maybe we could Pyre into Plague Belcher next turn and it would be. It's also possible we're just supposed to make 4 zombies with the Crawler instead of casting the Messenger at all. We attack with Carrion Feeder. Yeah, we've got a lot of good ways to make their blocks not that good, and Carrion Feeder can't block. Traditional Control doesn't care about having Field or Uro banned. Traditional Control was not... Traditional Control? Who cares about Traditional Control? We want to play good control decks. Control decks that were super dominant in the last metagame, you know what I mean? It's like, traditional control decks weren't very good. How was your Ephemerate deck without Mystic? It felt pretty solid. I'm probably going to tweak a few things. I might play Eternal Witness number 4. Witness just felt so good to me yesterday. I like the deck. I'm probably, if I had to, I might play either that or Squirrel Blade this Saturday in the challenge. We'll see. Not sure yet. Go back to Gideon, Jura, and Architect of Thought. Yeah, exactly. Have all deck techs for the day been done? I don't know. There's been so many deck techs lately. I don't understand exactly why. That's the 3rd Creeping Chill shown here. One's in the graveyard and didn't get exiled. They still have not hit Conflagrate. They only have 12 cards in their library. They probably do have a Conflagrate, but they're not going to be able to do it for a ton. They also really don't have attacks here. So you might be able to win. Have I been experimenting with Standard off stream? No, I don't have a Arena account, and I also I haven't been playing off stream this week because I had no power 2 days ago, and then the days I've had power, I've been streaming like extra long and then hanging out with Esther after, preparing for the possibility of not having any more power. So it's been a weird week for me. Don't have time for like extra Magic formats right now. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to try Pioneer again. I kind of want to like see if other people can tell me if it's good first. You know what I mean? You should try Fran's attempt to salvage Green White Reclaimer. Yeah, actually, I think that deck looks good to me. To be honest with you, although the Titan deck's probably better. Is this Loam? It is Loam. They don't. So maybe they have Conflagrate. No, they don't have Conflagrate in their hand because they escaped the Ox and then they've been dredging. I don't really feel like they've got great attacks. They disagree. Maybe they do have good attacks. So they block here. Yeah, what happens if we just take everything? Can we take everything? 9, 14. No, we can't. We have to block some. We have to block exactly the Ox. So that's 9, 11 damage. Then they block here. We lose 1, 2, 2 in the process. Then this becomes 4 power. And so they're going to take 2 plus 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, 13. I'm going to count this as 6, 19, 21, 23 damage. Plus the Geralf's Messenger. So I think they're dead. I intentionally skipped one of these because we have to block here, but I believe we just block here. We take 11 and then kill them. We also Pyre away Messenger for champion. Is that better? I don't think it matters. Yeah, retreat. Feldar Retreat I think is a good card. I like that card a lot. Yeah, it's definitely worse than Field of the Dead, but you know, Field of the Dead is not legal, so you don't really have to compare it to Field anymore, right? And it is a good card. It's also, its effect is more powerful than Field of the Dead, but obviously the fact that Field is just a land makes it a bit stronger. Pyre, Butcher into Belcher. Yeah, that works too. I mean, we just have a million ways to kill them. 3 is dangerous against chill. My opponent can't chill this turn. We know that they don't have. They escaped Ox and they've just been dredging since. Oh wait, no, so they can. Sorry, they can with Forgotten Cave. Oh man, I feel so dumb. I feel so dumb. They have to hit it. They didn't hit it. Oh my gosh. You're so right. And they did hit another blocker, actually. I don't necessarily want to Pyre the Butcher because if they, so I guess they block Butcher, they block Carrion Feeder, they take 8, 12, 14, 16. Yeah, second blocker really changes it. 16, but the Messenger is an extra 4 damage. So I think they're dead. Let me just double count. Block Dreadhorde Butcher, Carrion Feeder. Oh, this is also 2 damage. So if they do that, that's going to be... Well, I guess they can just block Messenger. Messenger is better to block. So they'll take 5, 7, 9, plus 8 is 17, plus the Messenger. Okay. So they should be dead. Belcher is way more damage. Yeah, I guess. But I've also like just counted that they have that they're deterministically dead right now. You know what I mean? So it's like Plague Belcher is more damage, but they're also dead right now. So with this line, so we don't, I think, need to take the other one. But that would be the more powerful, more damaged line. But my opponent's tapped out. We found a line that kills them. And whenever that happens, I just take the line instead of trying to figure out once a line that wins more. But yeah, Plague Belcher more damage doesn't matter though, because this also kills them, and you only have to get their life total to 0. Yeah, I'm counting the Messenger trigger as part of this. Yeah, so this is 12. Plus 4 is 16, and then that did this or this. Was Crypt Breaker a thought for the deck? Yeah, we've played Crypt Breaker in these variants. This is a Dono deck, so it's not exactly how I would approach building this list, but there are a lot of good ideas here. And you guys said that hand was unkeepable against... Let's keep this hand. Yeah, I guess the Deck Tech Redemption is out of stock again. I'm sorry it's been running out so quickly, but I do want to have it just not completely dominate the stream. Yeah, I mean, Veil of Summer is like probably a good guess, but I also don't really feel like it would be. I'm not in favor of a Veil of Summer ban, and I say this as someone who plays like so many blue and black decks. I feel like I play like exclusively decks that Veil of Summer is great against. Double Fiery Island is always a start you'll love to see. Take my 2-for-1 with the Undead Augur as well. Lightning Bolt this! Geralf's Messenger! Hiya! Yeah, I do think Monastery Swiftspear is the best creature in Modern. I agree with that. Coldera, 6 months in a row. Welcome back, buddy. Triple Fiery Islet! No deck building cost to including Fiery Islet in your deck. Yeah, I could maybe increase the deck tech redemption options. But, I mean, it's also like, you can also, you know, donate for the deck tech options if you're really desperate, or you can wait. No, I don't think you can set it to be... I don't think you can set it to, like, 2 an hour. I think it has to be per stream. So they go down to 11, and then we get to champion the messenger and attack them for 5, and then if they block, it's just really good for us, and if they don't block, it's also really good for us. Yeah, just taking this trade and resetting the messenger is... Oh, they have mutagenic growth. Okay, let's make it 6/6. Fair enough. Still, they're now down to 7. They've got triple Fiery Islet, and I think we're still in really good shape. We don't have another 4-mana creature to get, notably. But also, like, every time they tap a land, they take a damage. I think Rakdos midrange is a good deck. I'm not sure. I think my answer is yes. I'm not 100% sure, though. It'd be crazy if we died here. They only have 1 card in their hand. That card was Gutshot. They do have 2 darts, but only 1 mountain. I think they're dead, right? Yeah, they're just dead to this Plague Belcher. Yeah, they're actually just dead to us sacking Messenger even without a thing to get. That was nuts. I think we probably need more sideboard cards for the Swiftspear matchups. It's one thing I was going to say. Like, I think Infernal Reckoning specifically just needs to be a removal spell for this matchup. So you don't really have anything, but they get lucky to win game 1 at least. Do you sack Messenger even with no 4-drops? I mean, I would just play Plague Belcher instead, and might put the counters on the Messenger, which is more damage and a bit better. But they would just be dead to that. What removal would I slot in? Probably like the 3rd and the 4th Fatal Push. Although the big thing about that is it doesn't kill Stormwing Entity, so there's definitely some tension there. Would a Gary in the side be good? I mean, we've got 1 in the main deck. I don't think we also need 1 in the sideboard, right? I think you don't want to play more than 1 copy. Gutshot would be bad. Yeah, we had a lot of different ways to kill them there. It doesn't really matter. Do we get to trigger this before? I think that their trigger resolves first. Feels like we're just dead. Do we concede to Manamorphose? Yes. Yes, we do. Any thoughts on Tragic Slip? Maybe Tragic Slip is the one to play. I kind of like the idea of having some number of Tragic Slip. Keeping this hand. Double Blood Crypt's a bit awkward in this matchup, but not as bad as triple Fiery Islet, I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, I would say Blue-Red Prowess and Green-White Heliod kind of appear to be emerging as 2 of the best decks. Red-Black Scourge is also certainly feels like it's one of the best decks. Treasure Slip was in the list. I cut it. Not this list, right? Was it? Did I miss it? I think I've cut it before. I'm kind of into it right now. But I don't remember it being in the submission. I didn't change anything today. Do I think I'm going to explore Zombie Pyre off hours? Probably, yeah. It's kind of the plan. Kind of want to just sack this into Dreadhorde Butcher and then replay the Gravecrawler. Because we get to cast this Messenger for 0 mana next turn with the Vial. No Gutshot, please. Gutshot killed us last game. Thank goodness. Thanks, God. Yeah, I was also worried I wouldn't have power today, but we do. Why don't people play Druid combo anymore? It's just so bad against these decks. And like these decks are really popular. And it's not like it's not crazy against anything else. It doesn't have very many like great matchups. There's probably like 1 or 2 people still playing it though. 1 or 2 brave heroes. Maybe we should Pyre away the Butcher to kill the Sprite Dragon. We could get another Messenger and then Violin Messenger. We could also get Plague Belcher. Maybe Plague Belcher is better. We can also Vial this in and get the Champion. Plague Belcher, let's just put the minus counters on the Crawler and replay Crawler. You can attack first. You can't activate Pyre at instant speed, so I would not recommend attacking first. Got shot my Gravecrawler. They must have just drawn the Gutshot. They didn't have it last turn. We might still be able to race. Although it stinks that we actually can't put the -1 counters from a Plague Belcher on anything right here. Maybe we get Diregraf Colossus. Colossus actually seems pretty good, right? It's a 4/4. Yeah, it's 6 power here. Too bad we can't sack the Crawler and replay it. This turn at least. Also, we're pretty likely to be dead with 2 flying prowess creatures here and them having 4 cards in their hand. Maybe not. Well, I'll just take a block and see if we're dead. Dead to Lava Dart, probably. I don't think we're dead to 1, so like opt. Right? It's like feels like I'm probably dead to Bolt. Yeah, very dead to Bolt. That's a Lava Dart. They're not darting me. Hold on. But we're dead. Yeah, we're super dead. So whatever. Tough stuff. I feel like we got pretty lucky to win game 1 in what is a poor matchup. I think. Need to have some more side. What's the reason that prowess builds are now better in modern than more pure burn builds? Is Lava Dart or is something else from the last years you're missing? I mean, Stormwing Entity is a very, very good card, and so is Sprite Dragon. These are really, really good threats. And then also Monastery Swiftspear is just a much more powerful threat in a prowess deck compared to a traditional burn deck. You know, the burn decks are more resilient to removal is you know, a big reason to play them, while the prowess decks are more vulnerable because they're more in on their creatures living. But if, you know, they can overwhelm those with those removal spells, they are incredibly, incredibly powerful. Overgrown Tomb. I think I usually like our matchups against Overgrown Tomb. Just gonna play 2 feeders here. Yeah, Stormwing just dodging Fatal Push is such a big deal, and like most Lightning Bolts. You just realized your list is updated slightly. I think the spell shifts to be playing 1 Catacomb and 1 less Delta. Yeah, it should be fine to make those changes. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna push the 0/1 Tarmogoyf here. What a pathetic magic card, right? We could have sacked the messenger to deal 1 more damage here, but then that makes the messenger a bit more vulnerable to removal, which is funny. Well, this is one of the worst Lilianas I've ever seen. I'll just sack the messenger so I can deal the most damage. Maybe the worst Liliana ever. Although there's been some bad casts of this card, of course. I think they're dead, right? 3, 7, 8. Yeah, they conceded. Not a very good showing for Jund there. Not a very good showing. That being said, we're pretty cold to Plague Engineers. So hopefully we dodge that. Yeah, Changeling Berserker is really good to Pyre of Heroes, Geralf's Messenger into. Thoughts on Black Green Rock? It's interesting. Potentially better than Jund right now. The red land is for the Heliod combo deck, which is, in my opinion, an unwinnable matchup, even with like a pretty dedicated sideboard. Thoughts on Risen Executioner as a 4-drop in this deck? It's interesting. I think I have really liked Changeling Berserker today. I think it's very, very good to Pyre Messenger into. But there have been a couple spots where I've wished we've had a second 4-drop in the deck. So Risen Executioner, Grave Shifter, Goblin War Chief. These are all okay options, and I don't think any of them are that good. And you can maybe just play a second Changeling Berserker. But you probably wanted like two different tutor targets. Yeah, Goblin War Chief is modern legal, but I might have said Goblin War Chief. I meant Zombie War Chief, whatever that one is. Yeah, you can also play the Zombie Snow Lord. I'm not honestly very high on that card, but I do think it's okay. Croxa. I think we'll just discard this Vial. Probably correct. Not 100% sure, I guess. The zombie. Thoughts on Rolling Vortex as a sideboard in red decks? I think it's a fine sideboard card. You're gonna have to be. Rolling Vortex feels like the card that you need to make sure that you've play tested and understand that it is actually doing what you want it to do as far as helping specific matchups, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't just include it without having maybe some specific plans for it. I think I'm gonna wait on the Plague Belcher. Just cast this Vial. This hand really would like to draw a Geralf's Messenger. Is this as it enters? When this enters? Oh boy. Well, opponent's definitely stumbling super hard. Feels bad, right? Drew a land. Well, the problem with Fate Stitcher is it just doesn't have haste when you Pyre into it, so it's not like you can go Fate Stitcher, untap Pyre, and grab a 5-drop. I have looked at every 4-mana zombie at this point. And so there are other directions you can go. There are other directions you can go where you can Pyre a Nantuko Husk into Luminous Broodmoth, because that's an insect and Broodmoth is an insect. And then you can what do I want to do here? I think I'm just attacking and playing a second Plague Belcher. And then you can also play there's one 3-mana zombie cleric that's really bad, but you can maybe find a 3-mana changeling to Pyre into Yawgmoth and then try to combo with Yawgmoth and Geralf's Messenger is another option. if for the 4-drop slot, like just not actually playing a zombie. Like I mean, this is not a zombie either, exactly. So those are the other options. Kind of a good time to be talking about this because the league is now wrapped up. We went 3-2. I think this is a really, really good first draft. I do think that it needs work. Some general notes. I think that you could very easily splash a blue to play the blue Black Lord, which I think is so much better than Death Baron, but you maybe only like want one copy. Plague Belcher was very impressive. I probably tried to include one Crypt Breaker. Try to figure out the 4-drop problem. Try a white splash potentially with Luminous Broodmoth. Potentially try getting a working Yawgmoth version. I don't think that you need to main deck Fatal Push, but I do like having a pretty removal heavy sideboard for the Prowess decks. I also think that if you play Cavern and Witch's Cottage, you need an Urborg. But I think it might just be better to just play no Witch's Cottage and Caverns and like one Castle Locked Dwayne. I think I'd play Castle Locked Dwayne over Agadeem's Awakening since the life loss actually seems like a big cost to me. Not a big fan of Infernal Reckoning. And I'm also not sure Leyline of Punishment is the best way to beat the Heliod decks, but I would encourage, testing it out and actually see if it feels like a way to win the matchup. No, I don't think you ever really want to be Lurrus and not get access to 3 drops, and I don't think Lurrus is worth playing in the deck by itself. But thank you again to Lockhart. Another